okay guys, it's time to get a little energy for the night, and I gotta make sure that I'm drinking some water, so we're just gonna try and bang them both out at the same time.
I'm going to be reviewing Hydro Rush.
It's time to get up, start moving. Gotta reach out and grab my Crypto Rush from Hydro Rush. Let's go.
We gotta get this generator started, and we're gonna need the energy to do that and to go exploring. Vibes up, fam.
Cheers, fam.
Okay, you guys have magnesium in here, 66 milligrams. Sodium, sea salt, 1,000. All right, that's pretty high. You got some potassium, keeps you nice and invigorated, keeps your bones and your joints going good, muscles from cramping up. And then creatine. A lot of people have been telling me about creatine, you know, very good things from the weight training community. Yeah, let's see how this tastes. Okay, not bad. All right, this is Hydro Rush.
Is it recording? Okay.
We're recording here as well.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, we're doing this.
We are finally doing it,
Rachel,
you guys. After so many attempts.
You're amazing.
East Denver to Vegas, we are finally here.
We are. Thank you so much for being on 111, Rachel.
Of course.
I appreciate you so much.
Oh,
like, you have no idea, fam. I know, we're gonna start crying.
I know, you're getting emotional. I wasn't prepared.
I know. Well, regardless, like, you know what 111 is about, right?
Mm-hmm.
New beginnings, spiritual awakenings, alignments. Mm-hmm. That's right, fam. And it's just like something that I've always seen in your work and what you've created and how you connect with people. Mm-hmm. And I just I want to take it back. Take me back to little Rachel. Like, how did you get to this alignment in your life? Because I feel like you're doing what you're meant to do on this earth. But it's like, I'm sure it's taken you a while to get to that, state. So share with us a little bit about, the process. Like, how did it take you from where you're at now from how did you get there?
Absolutely. Well, that's a great question. And yeah, I feel like something that keeps coming up for me is consistency, you guys. Like you said, this isn't something that happened for me overnight. I've been in the industry, I've been in the crypto space for many years. But before that, I've gone through a lot of different verticals and kind of seasons in my life, kind of iterating what works, what do I find alignment with, what feels like really aligned with who I am and my values. And something that kind of led me to this purpose and this aligned mission and work that I'm doing is a Japanese philosophy called Ikigai. I'm sure you've heard of Ikigai. So I was reflecting on this a lot over the years. It's a concept I heard about a long time ago. But during the pandemic, I feel like many of us had these introspective periods of trying to figure out, okay, what should I do? What direction am I going in life? So I sat with this concept and drew this Venn diagram out multiple times. And it basically, this Japanese philosophy says, you find your life's purpose. It intersects between what you love, what you're good at, what you can get paid for, and what the world needs. So I sat and was just jotting this out over and over, trying to figure out, okay, what am I good at? What does the world need from me? What can I get paid for? And what do I love, right? And a common thread for me, it's always been creativity, I feel like. So I actually went to art school in a previous life, studied fine arts,
cool.
So got my education around fine arts. So really just started off as a creator. Fast forward then, I realized, moved out to California and realized during the pandemic, wow, we live in a world where people really need to get healthy and prioritize wellness more and take care of themselves. So I started my first company, Elixir of Life, which was a juice business I ran out of Southern California. So I started getting my products into stores, vending at festivals, did a wellness retreat. And throughout that work, something I really fell in love with was helping others and also seeing the transformation of, when I would work with a client, just going from we'd write down what they'd want to work on mentally, physically, emotionally, and how can nutrition help you get to those goals. So we would create custom juice cleansing packages. I would help my clients. So I'd help my clients out. And something that I really fell in love with was just seeing people light up throughout that journey, right? Of doing the deeper cleansing, deeper work on themselves. And I know that it works because I did it myself. Part of what led me to start my first company was cleansing, right? I did a juice cleanse, really did the work to get healthy. And I feel like that led me to being in a state of being more aligned, more present, feeling good. So that was the foundation of all of my work, was prioritizing wellness. I actually studied at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, Holistic Nutrition. So that was a big season for me that laid the foundation for what I do now. So fast forward, I was running my company, running Elixir of Life, doing the whole juice business. Then eventually got into the credit industry. So I had a full-time job. I know this is Web 2 as it gets, you guys. I'm sorry. I was the senior account manager for a credit monitoring company, training customer service reps around the world. So you asked how I got to where I am now.
Yeah.
The first foundation I'd say was wellness, getting healthy and taking care of myself. The next thing that led me here was communication, people, and starting off as a customer service rep at this company, then becoming a senior account manager. I learned a lot about communication, people skills, listening, and just more about business, right? So doing all these calls, training customer service reps, doing customer service calls, then eventually working with affiliates and doing more affiliate marketing. I feel like that gave me a lot of foundational skills with people, with sales. Then eventually, fast forward, discovered the blockchain space. So had a friend talk to me about DAOs and NFTs, and I didn't know what they were talking about at first, but I really loved the energy and the passion. And I thought to myself, this is something I definitely want to check out and take more seriously. So I joined my first DAO, Bridge Builders DAO. Shout out to my Bridge Builders fam. So joined this DAO, started joining calls. It was all focused around education.
Cool.
So that was really the entry point for me. And then eventually, fast forward, I got an opportunity for my first speaking opportunity during ETH Denver. I want to say 2021 or 2022.
Wow.
So got a speaking engagement opportunity. I ended up getting an interview with one of the largest layer 1 protocols at the time. And also got a full ride scholarship from HerDAO. So shout out to HerDAO. So the yellow brick road, so to speak, started kind of pointing me in that direction. Now, I had my full-time Web 2 job, I have my juice business, and something was just pulling me in that direction, man. I can't explain it, but I just felt like this is something I have to do. So I remember being at the airport, and this is like, I tell this story on the podcast and in interviews, but I remember having to make a decision at the time, being in a super Web 2 company. My employer didn't want me traveling, right? Wanted me locked in at my desk 9 to 5, but I wanted to go to this conference, right? And go to ETH Denver, have my first experience. So I remember being at the airport, making calls, like trying to make this tough call, like, do I stay at this? Do I stay or do I go? You know what I mean? So I actually made the decision to leave my job, to go to ETH Denver. I jumped into the abyss and no certainty, man. Like, I didn't know if I would get the job. I didn't know what this would entail, but I just had a hunch. I had this intuition that this is the right path. So I jumped in, had my first speaking engagement, got the job I interviewed for, got the full ride scholarship. Thank you, HerDAO, again, because that led me to start my career in the crypto space. So left the Web 2 world and ended up jumping into the abyss, and I haven't looked back since. So that's the intro to my story.
That's incredible. And how many years did it take you, roughly?
To get into Onchain Media?
Yeah.
So I started working in crypto, that was 2021, I want to say.
Okay,
so now we're in 2026, so about 5 years.
Right.
And I have been doing Onchain Media since 2026. But something I realized, the reason that I decided to prioritize media is I feel like as an industry, we do have a narrative issue. We do have, I feel like the general public doesn't really understand what we do.
Right.
Like, I'm sure you've tried talking to your mom about this or your siblings, and it's like you're speaking another language. So something we need is more storytellers. We need people to share the human-centric side of this space and how this solves problems for people. So that was something I realized early on, like every project needs help with. So I thought to myself, okay, I think media, organizing community, creating spaces. I've now organized over 500 Twitter spaces. It's probably getting close to 1,000 at this point. I've hosted and produced 2 podcasts. So the Bankless DAO podcast, Crypto Sapiens back in the day, then eventually went on to start my own Onchain Media. So, and this came out of an observation that projects really struggle with communicating and conveying what they do, and also having it resonate with people on a human level. So that is why we're doing Onchain Media, and Crypto Fam Radio can attest. He's one of our creators, you guys. So
Yes.
I feel like you really are somebody that I view as highly aligned with our culture and how we operate. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox there, but yeah.
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like, I invest in those who invest in me, right? And the value that you've shown, even over the past few months that I've known you, Rachel, it's been just like incredible. So
Thank you. I'm
just
sorry if I get
no,
emotional on
you're
the
good.
show.
Me too, because you know, like we work so hard
Oh my
to
God,
do
you
what we
guys have
do,
no idea.
and it's like, and I know when you're building your own business, it's not work, right? It's fun, like but it is work at the same
It's
time.
fun, but there's always a lot. You listen. If you're
Right.
working in crypto, you will have late
Yes.
nights.
Yes.
You will
Yes.
push yourself further than you thought you can go.
Yes.
But it is a beautiful experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's
Right.
like,
Well,
like
you're building something for yourself. You're not building something for others. It's not a 9 to 5.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm getting
So
chills
it's
right now. Cause like,
so
no,
it's like-
seriously.
Yeah, it's like that's how much harder you're going to work, but that's how much harder you're going to succeed too.
Mhm.
And following through and showing up and giving that consistency that we want to see others aspire to as well. You know, it's like we're in content creation for a reason. We're in crypto for a reason, and let's show people what great storytelling can do for the people that we're trying to, you know, build a community with, right? So it's
Absolutely.
like we want to keep with this narrative, but we also want to keep telling great stories that resonate with our audiences, right? And it's like I went into journalism for this, to share stories, but to really like educate people into crypto the last few years that I've been building Crypto Fam Radio and now media. And it's like we want to get to this point where it's like we want to be reaching new people too. We don't want to be, and this is one
in
of
a
the
silo.
yeah, this is what I feel like Spaces has kind of become. And
same 20 people.
yeah, exactly. So I would love to get your take more on like what other ways have you found within media that have been able, that you've been able to capture new audiences? Like what have you been like, you know, really excited about with media and crypto more than just Spaces? Because that's kind of where I'm in my own personal brand. I've been trying to branch out, trying to figure it out. And to me, and maybe you can riff on this as well, it's been like video, short form video content, and also live streaming. I feel like it's becoming a much bigger narrative than it has in the past year or year and a half, you know? So
You're
that I've been
absolutely
in.
right.
So yeah, share with me more about how you're, I guess, distributing your content, your media, and how you're capturing new audiences.
Yeah, reaching new people. I think there's a couple things that have worked for me. One common thread is IRL events, getting to get yourself and your brand in front of new people and projects. Like I just interviewed this guy. I mean, he's working on a project with Michael Turpin and investing in projects on Bit Angels. And it just came from being in the press section of the conference, like saying, hey, you want to jump on for an interview? And I don't know what it will lead to, but I feel like conversations and connections like that, it always leads to something, like the network effect kind of begins, so to speak. So another thing I'll mention is live streams. You're totally on point with that. I've been growing my brand primarily on X. So you can follow us, Rachel Onchain, Onchain Media, and you can kind of see the live streams are the things that I feel like get the most viewership now and engagement. So live streams definitely to reach more people on the in the digital sphere. But clipping as well, man. Clipping really reaches a lot more people because we are in an attention economy where most people are not going to watch an hour and a half long live stream or podcast unless you're Joe Rogan or Lex Fridman. So anyway, I feel like getting those succinct, like 1 minute to 30-second long videos, that is where people, you're going to really capture their attention the most before they continue scrolling on. And people have lives, right? People have kids, jobs. Not everybody has an hour, 45 minutes, hour and a half to watch a long form piece of content. So if you are in media, if you are a content creator, I think clipping is king. Clipping is very important. There's a project, what is it, TBF, I'm forgetting the exact name of this project, but OpenAI acquired them for, it was over $100 million. And they get on average, it's like something like 7,000 views on their live stream, but their clips get something like 245,000 impressions and views. So it's like the clips can really end up creating a valuable brand or IP if you're in media or in content. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting story recently. So I do think it is the best time to be a creator, to be running your own project, building your own brand. And I was actually just talking to Rocky from QuickSwap and LDA. We're talking about how every project should be leveraging AI and working with AI now too. I think that's also very important. And yeah, this is a little bit of alpha. I haven't shared this publicly, but we are going to be running a weekly AI show now. So we're going to be bringing on people in the AI space, founders. And I think that's a vertical that I don't think anyone should sleep on. It's going to affect and permeate into every single industry, especially tech adjacent industries like blockchain. So anyway, I'm rambling here. So I'll pass it back to you. Yeah.
No. I had a few things, strings I was going to pull back to clipping. I wanted to go back to that. So do you have AI do the clips for you? Do you do the clips? Like, what do you find important with clipping to get more people's attention? Because we all know, like, we got to talk about the hook, right? Like, getting people in.
We've talked
with the
about this on our
hooks,
creator
right?
calls. You
But then
already know.
also
Yep.
the CTA at the end as well, getting them to act, you know? So it's like, is AI doing this all for you? And how influential is AI with your clipping process?
So there's a nuanced answer here because okay, I'll go back to a little callback to art school. I consider myself a mixed media artist. I kind of look at, okay, what is the thing I'm trying to create and what materials do I need to get the end result I'm looking for? So I kind of have the same approach with clipping and video editing. I use DaVinci for some of the higher quality edits where we're using cinema quality lenses. You can't lean on AI for that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Like you kind of have to go and be a bit more involved and use different software for that quality of content.
Right.
For clipping, I also hired an in-house clipper. So shout out to Bruno, amazing talent on our team. So we have someone in-house that's doing our clipping. And then I also go in, I'll use Riverside. You know, I kind of like leverage different things. Opus I've used as well.
Right.
So depending on the end result, depending on, you know, we work with different clients who might have a specific goal or thing that they want to showcase. But I have found for me, I just kind of use what works and whatever will help me accomplish the end result I'm looking for. But for me, I mean, the stage we're at with Onchain Media, having an in-house clipper has been a game changer. Like Monday through Friday, we have someone making clips all the time. Even as I was coming to the conference today, he's our distribution manager as well. He got a podcast out. So I feel like if you're building like a media company or team, having someone doing clipping and editing will just be a game changer. I feel like where AI is at as well for creativity, it's a little nascent, and I do feel like it is a bit obvious if you're leaning on using AI too heavily. I feel like there is a bit of refinement, a bit more refinement you get from working with an editor, but teach their own. Whatever your personal preferences, your taste, whatever aesthetic you're looking for, I feel like it's on an individual basis, and people can be successful with leveraging AI as well. So anyway,
I would say using AI as a tool, right?
AI is a tool, right?
Now, don't fully use it. Obviously, create all your content because, it's like it's there, but it's not quite, not on a human grade level. Like what we're doing, like we can't use AI to capture content at a conference. Obviously, we have to use our own device. We have to use our own eye, right? But then we can use that content and then have AI clip it for us. Yeah. Let's say. So we're using AI as a tool, but at the end, it's still our content, right?
Absolutely.
It's human content, which I absolutely love. And I think that's what's going to separate us from a lot of other people that couldn't make it to the conference, let's say, right? And I want to go back to your point on going to conferences to, be to market, to build content, right? Yep. Talk to me about some of your conference experiences since you've been doing conferences for a while.
We're gonna be here for a while.
No, this is great. I want to hear like your take on it, because is this where you find like a lot of your partnerships, your sponsorships? Like why do you go to conferences, and why is it so important for creators to take advantage of going to IRL events and getting connected?
That is a fantastic question. Okay, and I have to distill this down because I have been on the conference circuit for the past 5 years. There have been years, like I want to say 2023 or 2024, where I hopped on a plane on practically a monthly basis and was going to some country, some conference to do speaking engagement, educational sessions. So the main thing that comes to mind when you ask that question is I feel like when you get to sit face to face with someone, to shake their hand, to really get to know them on a deeper human level, in my experience, it's always led to deeper collaborations. I feel like building authentic friendships, relationships, and having opportunities to get to know someone outside of a Google Meet. You know what I mean? Like, it's, to me, I even, by the way, I had a Google Meet earlier today, was talking to a new project and found out they're local to me. I'm like, hey, let's go grab coffee this weekend. Let's get to know each other. Let's see what we could do with our project. And every time, without fail, it has always led to a deeper collaboration, just taking the time to get to know someone. So that is why I prioritize the IRL. I always say there's no replacement for IRL events. And I've been to conferences. I've gone out and spoken at DevCon in Thailand. I actually helped to organize a conference in Tokyo as well. I was staying in Japan for a bit.
Cool.
And yeah, I feel like I just have a big passion. I love people, right? And I love helping to tell people's stories. So what better place to do it than in person at a conference where we're all coming together. And I do have to give flowers to ETH Denver. Obviously, you heard my origin story. ETH Denver was a big part of just kind of propelling me into this industry more. I honestly, going to ETH Denver several years ago, it really led me to opportunities, to connections, to meeting with different people and projects. So I would say showing up IRL, it'll only benefit you and your brand and your presence in the industry.
I love that. I love that. I had no idea ETH Denver, like you've been going to ETH Denver for so long.
I've been a multi-year, almost every year that I've gone, I think I've been a speaker every single year. If not the main conference, adjacent events, side events, I've been an organizer for ETH Denver, organizing events for them.
Gotcha.
If you guys remember the Career Hub, if any of you are ETH Denver regulars, I actually organized a job fair for the main conference of ETH Denver. So we brought together projects that we're hiring. We had a whole headshot station, just kind of like a way to help people level up themselves professionally and level up their brand. So I don't know. I've done tons of activations like that around the world. Thailand, I hosted an event with Base and some people in the community out there adjacent to DevCon. And I would say the Ethereum community, the Ethereum conferences, I've definitely been more frequenting. This is my first Bitcoin conference, actually.
No way, me too.
Very first one. So it feels like a rite of passage. It's like, okay, I've been to all of these Ethereum events. Oh my God, I've been to so many Base and Coinbase activations. But Bitcoin's where it all started. So I feel like at this point, 5 years in, it's like, okay, let me prioritize going to the Bitcoin conference because Bitcoin is what started all of this. So it feels fun and exciting to connect with new people. I'm meeting a lot of new people at this event. So you asked the power, why prioritize the IRL? These are all people who I might have not met, or it might have taken a long time to get to know each other or bump into each other on a space or virtually. Showing up IRL has definitely connected me with new audiences and new people.
I love that. I love that. Great take. Since we're at the Bitcoin conference, we can't be remiss. Like, how has it been going for you?
Oh, fantastic.
And how is it different, let's say, from ETH Denver? Since you've attended ETH Denver so many times and you're very plugged in, but this is like your first experience on, let's say, a different blockchain event. Like, so compare and contrast. I'd love to hear more about, some of your experiences just the past few days being at Bitcoin conference. And I know today's our last day here. So take it all in. Share with me maybe a few little stories about your time at Bitcoin conference.
So one of the main differences that I've seen, so ETH Denver is a community innovation festival. It is more like a festival kind of energy, right? I even saw someone write an article on ETH Denver calling it like the Burning Man of crypto conferences.
Really? Okay.
So I feel like something with ETH Denver I've observed over the years is that it's an event. They don't even call it a conference. They call it a community innovation festival. Something about ETH Denver I've noticed is that it is a community that does not take itself too seriously. It's a little more like laid back, if you will. I've also heard it referred to as like the Super Bowl of Web3 events. It is one of those ones where, there's so many side events, people come into town. One of those events a lot of people just won't miss,
Right.
One of the primary differences I've noticed with like the Bitcoin conference is I feel like there are a lot more entrepreneurial types. There's more suits here. People that also come from political backgrounds. We have U.S. Senate here, White House. So I would say in terms of like the general energy and overall vibe, not to say that like there are serious builders in the Denver community, but I feel like this is a little more buttoned up, a bit more serious, a lot more entrepreneurial focused individuals. And of course, people who are all in on Bitcoin, miners, Bitcoin focused projects. So
a lot of miners.
Not really seeing so much of that at ETH Denver, of course. So those are the primary differences. And also, Stand With Crypto has a big presence here. I'm also an ambassador and advocate for Stand With Crypto. I feel like a lot more discourse around being proactive as advocates in our industry, policy making, lawmakers, how crypto is being handled by the government. So hopefully that answers that.
Yeah, it does. I love that. And I think like we spent a lot of time talking about IRL events, talking about AI, talking about your story. I want to hear more about content creation side. I feel like this is really important and needs to be talked about, especially in crypto. And I want to hear more about, what you're excited about when it comes to your content creation and how you're changing the narrative when you're combining your educational experience in crypto, trying to onboard people with your content creation. And share with me a little bit about just like what gets you excited when you create content, and like what can you share to people of maybe they're struggling a little bit in their content creation and they want to like try to get more passion behind it or trying to make it more fun and entertaining. I feel like every time when you create some type of content, it's fun, it's entertaining, and I really enjoy it. So like maybe share some advice or some ways that you make your content more fun, engaging.
Ooh, okay. So let me think. The first thing I'll say is just be authentically yourself, you guys. Like everyone else is already taken, just be you. Lean into your strengths and play to your strengths, right? I feel like that's the first thing I'll say. Also, like, I feel like we need to evolve out of the PvP landscape. And like, for me, my philosophy has always been collaboration over competition. If there are other creators out there, if there's other media companies, I like collaborating and building relationships and inroads where we can grow together. We can do a show together. We can make content. And for me, my why, it always comes back to the humans. It always comes back to the people. So when I'm creating content or doing shows that are in alignment with my purpose and in some way helps people, educates and empowers people, for me, that's just naturally fun. And I'm excited about it. So I feel like that energy kind of that does come out in my interviews and content. And yeah, I'd also say, I mean, on the other side of this, right, is consistency. I mentioned this earlier. Consistency is so important. I've even heard a quote from someone that consistency and showing up you'll outperform someone who has a natural talent who shows up sometimes, because talent can be learned, skills can be learned. When you show up enough times, when you put in the reps, that'll help you to be successful, I think, at anything in life, right? You build the muscle memory, you get better. I look at some of my vintage content and I just laugh at myself, okay? I'm like,
me too.
Yeah, so it's something where when you do it, like with anything, when you do it enough times, you learn, okay, that didn't really work, that didn't really serve me, let me lean into this, and you iterate. There's a trial and error process to it. So for creators, my top advice would be just keep showing up, just keep creating. Also, a lot of us suffer, I think, from perfection paralysis, right? You want to make something so perfect that you end up getting into the stagnation trap where you might get backlogged, it never sees the light of day. If it's like 75% good, just get it out. Go on to the next thing, because we are in a very fast-paced world now where even the news cycles, like every 24 hours, people are on to the next thing. So I would say your turnaround time is important. Consistency is very important, and being authentically yourself and playing to your strengths. That would be my advice.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm learning so much from you, Rachel.
Absolutely.
Like, this is so cool. Talk to me about personal branding.
Personal branding.
I think this is really important as content creators.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it away. Sorry.
I mean, no. If there's anything you want to elaborate on there.
Yeah. Just more about personal branding. Like, at the end of the day, our content is a reflection of us, essentially, right? So it's like when we're thinking about the content we're creating, we always want to make sure that it's true to home, like true to our authentic self, but also pulls in, obviously, attracts a certain community, right? That we're supporting, and indirectly they're supporting us, right? By looking at our content, by reflecting, by getting those impressions, and it's like it works this synergy all of a sudden. So I'd love to hear more about your take on personal branding, people that are struggling on finding their authentic voice, let's say. What are some advice that you could give them?
Ooh.
I think that would be really great, because I feel like a lot of people kind of struggle with that, with personal branding. They're not really sure where to go because maybe they haven't really found themselves, right? Self. And reflecting on that and taking some time of like, what do I really want to put out into the world, and what will actually like long-term help me develop a sustainable model, let's say, through monetization, right? So I'd love to hear your take on that.
Okay, first of all, great question. And I know you're I dropped my mic. I'm sorry.
Our mic? I mean, my mic? Okay, we'll cut that bit out.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hold. Should I just hold it?
Yeah, that might work.
I'll
Where's
find
the magnet?
I'll find the magnet.
Oh my gosh. I need that. Okay, it's all right. Hopefully it didn't fall out somewhere.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Okay, we'll get it later.
Just for the sake of wrapping up, I'll
yes, sorry.
Okay,
yeah,
so
personal
we'll cut
branding.
this portion. All right.
Yeah, we will.
So, All right, personal branding. I know you're a reader. You really are into self-development, self-improvement books. I want to quote a book called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. One thing they say in this book is you must know yourself to grow yourself. So if you're a creator or just doing anything out there in the world, really understand your values. And I did an exercise recently with my designer because we are working on the branding for Onchain Media and continuing to just be mindful of it, and what our intentions are, right? What message are we trying to convey through our brand? Something we did is we wrote down what are our values, what are the things that we want to convey through our content. And one of the things that I lean into for my personal brand is just credible neutrality. This is something we were discussing with Rocky from QuickSwap, and also journalistic integrity, right? Because I feel like there is a culture in crypto, right? Like KOL, influencer culture. I feel like I want to see us get more away from that and go towards education and empowerment. And that's something I really try to lean into with my brand. We actually started the Onchain Media Creators Program, and part of what we're doing is, we're giving creators the tools that they need to be able to do this for a living if they want, right? Like have paid opportunities with sponsors, have campaigns that are paid, and also get education, from people like our videographer, right, who's formerly Nike, has 15 plus years of experience in doing media. So I want to put creators in front of people who can help them to grow, and also in front of projects that can help them to get paid. So those are some of the things that we're focusing on. So I guess another thing is I actually have Lucas Bean, if you know Lucas Bean, on my podcast recently. He authored the book Community Market Fit. He's the former head of marketing for Sony, Atari, worked on MySpace, a lot of big brands, Experian. So something that he said is he thinks product market fit is bullshit. It's community market fit. You build around what there is a community for, what people actually want. And when I put the application link out there for the Onchain Media Creator Program, I had no idea we would get such an influx of applications, hundreds of people applying to get into this program. Crypto Fam Radio is actually one of the accepted creators, so I feel really honored to work with him and have him in the program. He's been showing up very actively. So yeah, I'd say around personal brand, going back to from the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, you must know yourself to grow yourself, know your values, and build in alignment with those values. So that would be my my advice there.
I love that. I love that take. Thank you so much for sharing. As we're wrapping up this interview, and I've had an amazing time, by the way, Rachel. Been learning a lot, and I just what is the future of Onchain Media? I'm sure you have a roadmap, or how you guys are evolving, changing. You're still growing. Obviously, if we're not growing, we're dying, right? So we're always improving every single day. I'd love to hear your take on your business here in Web3, your media company, and how you're changing. It sounds like you're going through a logo change right now, or a branding change. So I'd love to hear more about that and design and whatnot. But yeah, let me know how the future of Onchain Media and how you guys are growing in the space.
Absolutely. So logo staying the same. We love our logo.
Okay.
More just brand refinement, right? Looking at the website, looking at everything, and just refining it, right, as we go. But yeah, I would say for our direction and what our goals are, I mean, obviously being at the Bitcoin conference, we're always looking to connect with new projects, sponsors, clients, and help people to market and tell their story, right? And help with content creation and distribution. So that's something we're continuously doing with our clients and projects that we work with. Another thing is, scaling our team. We hired a, community manager. We have a community mod, social media manager. We now have our in-house clipper. Shout out to Bruno. Absolute legend. We have our videographer, Adrian. And also we brought on an AI advisor and a YouTube advisor as well. So we are scaling the team and making it so when your project works with us, you now have the power of this team behind you to help you tell your stories. So the goals are just to continue growing, connecting with new projects, and also growing our community and giving opportunities to other creators. So that's kind of the goals and our plan there. And yeah, we plan on continuing to show up at IRL events and also hosting events in our local communities as well. So we are doing a quarterly event with Stand With Crypto. I'm actually going to be hosting the Bitcoin Pizza Day event with Pizza DAO. So we got a couple of events coming up. So yeah, the plan is to just keep showing up and keep growing and supporting creators. So
oh my gosh, I absolutely love that, Rachel. Thank you so much. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to share with the audience, with myself, anything that you want to touch on with Onchain Media, or even Rachel, with your own self, with your own personal brand, right? So it's something, just not advice, but just like, I don't know, just tell us a story, right? Of like something we haven't touched on yet that we haven't like gotten to that I'd love to hear more about.
Sure. Something I'll touch on is, we continue, people like Crypto Fam and myself, we continue to show up regardless of what the market is doing. So this won't be a story, maybe more of like an anecdote or just general advice here. No matter what the market's doing, I think it's important if you are a long-term builder to just keep showing up. Again, coming back to consistency, I think regardless if we're in a bull or a bear market, there's actually a lot less noise now. So I feel like you can show up. This is when the builders and the innovators really show up. So yeah, my advice and, just generally what I would recommend is just to keep showing up and stay consistent. And yeah, I guess the story that I'll share is, there have been bear markets and bull markets that I've been through in this industry. And I feel like, there are a lot more opportunities than you think in a market like this. If you continue showing up, there is less noise. So, and yeah, another thing we didn't touch on is, where you can all connect with us. We are on X, we're on YouTube. You can subscribe to our newsletter. So on X, my personal handle is @Rachel Onchain. I'm Rachel Onchain everywhere. I'm on Telegram as well. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Rachel Brissenden. And my company, you can connect with Onchain Media on X @Onchain Media. You can connect with us on YouTube, subscribe to Onchain Media Co. And yeah, our newsletter, Onchain Media, you can subscribe to as well. So all the links are in our bio and on our website. You can go to onchainmedia.org. So I think I covered everything, got my call to actions in there. And yeah, anything else you want to cover before we drop?
I'm good, Rachel. Thank you so much for
awesome.
being on the
Thank
podcast.
you, man.
Amazing,
We finally made it happen. Cool.
Yes, awesome.
Bitcoin 2026, you guys.
Let's go.
Awesome. Cool. Let me get that magnet. Oh, that was so good, man.